Substance abuse. What is substance abuse? It basically refers to the harmful or hazardous use of psychoactive substances, including alcohol and illicit drugs. Substance abuse is a significant social issue that's affecting Guyana. Individuals, communities, and families are affected. The relevance of this topic is underscored by the rising crime rate, addiction rate, and strain on public health system. Guyana has faced a complex history marked by colonialism, economic challenges, and social instability. The country's strategic location makes it susceptible to drug trafficking, particularly from neighboring South American countries. The influx of drugs, particularly marijuana and cocaine, has contributed to rising abuse rates. Right. Thanks again for taking time out of your day to answer these questions based on a problem that's obviously affecting Guyana.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
So, what are your overall thoughts on substance abuse, and what is your definition of substance abuse?
Well, from my point of view, that substance abuse is the excess use of drugs and substances that can affect the body and then on a long term affect even the persons around you.
Is there any misconception about substance abuse, like things people don't really know or they think about it?
There's one famous one. I can stop tomorrow. I could always stop there. I could always come off there. And in most cases, there's always an intervention after you gotta go to rehab or something. There's always this belief that yo, I do this thing now. I stop tomorrow. I'm gonna stop smoking tomorrow. I'm gonna stop doing injecting myself tomorrow. Just start back a whole new life. They're wrong most of the time. Most 95% cases they're wrong.
Substance abuse is mostly tied to having fun, recreation. But do you think it has an impact on crime rate?
Yes, well, if the overuse of the substance, they might think, well, they use a little to enjoy themselves, whether it's alcohol, whether it's cigarette or even marijuana, as a form of enjoyment. But then if they become addicted to it, you find they're going to do odd things to get the money to go after this drug. So sometimes they commit crime to get the money. They might steal, they might break and enter people's homes and so on to get the money, to get the drugs, because they're now addicted to it.
Do you believe that substance abuse affects families?
Yes, it does. In a major way too, because there was a case once. A guy was talking about he was doing drugs, and he was millionaire status. He was in the millionaire status, and he always had this thing. I'm gonna finish tomorrow, based on the question you asked earlier, and he lost everything. He lost his wife, he lost his children, he lost his homes, he lost friends. So yes, it does affect the family.
Have you had any personal experience with substance abuse, either directly or indirectly?
Well, I would say indirectly, because there are family members who would have been caught up in drugs, whether it's alcohol, this addiction to alcohol. Even my father was addicted to it, and so sometimes as a child growing up, you just had to you had to seek the best way to get him to stop. Sometimes I remember as a secondary school child going to school, I used to feel really embarrassed because the children would see my father sometimes drunk on the road, and I would feel embarrassed. So what I started to do, when I know he would finish working at a certain time, I would usually leave school and go and collect him from his workplace so that he wouldn't stop with the guys to drink. And that was one of my experiences growing up, and that I really hold on to help him to stop that abuse, that drinking and so on.
So this is a final question. Do you have any advice for anybody that's struggling with substance abuse?
I'm struggling. Get from a religious perspective, seek God. Read the scripture, learn more about that. Learn more about Him, He will help you get over it. From a psychological perspective, you need to fight it. Friends, family, talk to persons. I feel if other persons who've been through it share their experience with you, it would assist them in getting over it. I feel too much of polishing up taking place. Right? We need to give it on point. This is what happened, these are results, these are the negative. Don't list the positive too much. Let's straight negative. It will assist them in getting over it. Become aware of what's going on, how it affects you, how it can affect you. And so if you're on it for a while, it will help you shift into the right path.
Well, my advice to anyone, whether it's a young person or even a more aged person, it is difficult. It is a struggle, yes, but nothing is too hard for you. You can, as long as you purpose in your heart that you want to change, you can change.
What do you think is the most abused drug in Guyana?
Weed.
What drug do you think is the most trafficked drug in Guyana?
Maybe cocaine.
Okay, thanks. What age range do you think usually abuse drugs in Guyana?
18, sometimes even 16.
There's a quote that says, "Who feels it knows it." So I sat down with someone who struggles with substance abuse to basically get their side of the story. All right, once again, thanks Mr. Moore for coming and answer a few questions based on substance abuse. I really appreciate it.
Most likely welcome. Yeah.
Now, the first question I have for you is, what substance have you used and how did you first get involved with them?
First thing, the substance that I use is marijuana. Now I get involved with them by the neighborhood that I'm surrounded, that I live in.
At what point did you realize that your substance use was becoming a problem?
After I come out of school. It started at an early age. I was in school in Fort Farm. Yeah, that's when I started.
I realized from then that it became a problem.
Yeah.
How has substance abuse affected your relationship with your family and friends?
Well, I have some good brethren and friends, right? And most of them, when coming off, right, they're doing something with their life. As it has a hold on me, it affecting them.
Have you experienced any physical or mental health issues related to substance use?
Yeah, the way my parents and family treat me towards use and substance abuse, so playing a part on my mental.
Are there any specific triggers that lead you to substance use?
Well, my mom passing, my family breaking up, and plus I just get time into my whole little family who I get at home there. But as now, they always get my back. They always got me.
Have you sought help or treatment for substance abuse?
Yeah, psychiatric help.
And what was that experience like?
More worse than using the substance abuse. but I need it. I'm not really mad or psychiatric.
Mm.
Is they putting the on me so I could come off for it. But you could come off of weed by yourself, bro. It's like
Yeah.
this is something you gotta do by yourself.
What do you wish others would understand about substance abuse?
I won't advise people for going to drugs. Or if they're going into it, don't smoke it. Bake it or put it in, because there are ways how you could use it.
Mm.
If you're baking it, you could put it in the food, make it tea.
Mm.
It's like, in them ways I would advise people to use it.
How do you envision your life without substance use?
House and a car with enough money.
All right. Thanks again for coming and answer these questions. It will be of great help to my research and this assignment.
You're welcome.
Addressing drug abuse in Guyana requires a multifaceted approach that considers the different factors at play. By increasing awareness, improving access to treatments, and fostering community support, it is possible to mitigate the impact of drug abuse on individuals and society as a whole.